You are listening to Digging In Podcast, presented by Rooted Wealth Advisors.
Welcome back to another episode on the Digging In Podcast. We have potentially the most special guest we've ever had on here, the OG Hilda Miranda. Don't call her Miranda. To you, how are we?
I'm doing great.
Tell me how excited you are to be here.
John, I don't get to see you every day, like back in the old days. So just sitting here with you, seeing your smiling face, you've always gotten along,
Yeah.
If I'm an OG, you're the OG, okay? Just saying. Who's the one that interviewed me?
Yeah, a long time ago. It's funny you say that because it is fun to see how life has just kind of come full circle. You made me feel bad because the last time I was here, I was trying to do a bunch of podcasts with newer team members, and Hilda goes, "We don't ever get to do a podcast." And I was like, we're going to do one. So then the next time up here, Hilda's gone.
Well, and here's the thing though, John.
Yeah.
You know me, I don't like to do these. I feel very uncomfortable. Sometimes you could tell. I'm a lot of takes, but it's you. And I'm just very comfortable with you.
Yeah.
As you can see right now, I think that, and Phil's been behind the camera before with me, and he's, so he could probably see the difference too. This is just easy flowing.
That's right,
and I enjoy you. So.
Good. The goal is to make you comfortable. Before I put you on the spot, I'm going to peel the layer back. That's been my big saying on some of these podcasts of maybe why, we have a comfortable relationship. So I remember when I first started with Rooted specifically, Hilda had already been helping Zach get things off the ground. And so I got hired, had no idea what I was getting into. And I walked into the back office of our old office, and I'm like, okay, where am I going to be sitting? And Hilda's like, right there. And it was like, it was that close.
So it's nothing has changed.
Nothing's changed. The bathroom door was right here. And I'll be so honest. I don't know how many people know this, but that first week, I was thinking, how can I get out of here? How can I get out of this? There's just no way. But the week goes by, you get a feel for it. We were just this really tight knit, dare I say, family. And you just, in an odd way, I started to really enjoy it. Because if I had a question, Hilda.
Right. You soon recognized what the opportunity was with sitting so close to each other and having, that closeness where, as we were doing calls together and, we could just feed off each other. The energy too.
Yep. And that was 5 years to some, might seem like a long time, not as much to others. It sounds like a long time to me, but it doesn't feel that long ago as we talk about it. So I just wanted to give a little bit of backstory there. And obviously our relationship goes further back than that, but I just want to stay on the Rooted path today. And I think my first question, or at least just I want them to hear more, can you go back to day one, right? Rooted Wall Street days. Can you just give us a 1-minute synopsis of what was it like?
So Zach had left a captive company, right? So day one, it's interesting because you thought, when you think about Zach, leaving that captive company because he'd built that book of business, right? We were leaving all of our clients behind just because, he was moving, to in another direction. He didn't, they were shutting down that financial. There was this new ruling that was coming out. And so he wanted to follow his passion with, investment related business. That first week, it's funny because the phone was actually ringing, believe it or not. People found out, and some were kind of, upset because that he had left, but at the same time, he had a big following.
Right.
And, that was just because of the relationships he'd already built and, the connections that he'd made. And there was people that were we understand that you're leaving this company, but we're not done with you yet, Zach. So We were actually kind of busy that
Really?
first couple of weeks. Yes, we were having people come in and sit down, and it's kind of what kind of helped us, even like launch Rooted in the
Wow.
beginning, the first days.
Wow.
So
I didn't even know that. I think, and just to kind of like elaborate a bit further, this was during the Obama time, presidency, administration, and this fiduciary ruling had come out. And I think, Zach's biggest passion is just, doing the right thing for the people, for the clients, and wasn't able to do that through his previous employer. So it's pretty cool to just hear, how valuable those relationships with people, but it's also, on the flip side, like I can understand in that initial, that feeling of hurt, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't see what Zach was, trying to establish at that point in time. But I would say, if not all of them, see it now of what Zach's true passion and his vision is really starting to come to fruition. So then let's take it a step further. What about like the first year and a half, 2 years? Because statistically speaking, financial advisors just as a whole fail within the first year of like going independent, going on their, I think the statistics like 90%. So tell me more about that first year, 2 years, and what that was like.
that first year or first 2 years, and I actually was in the very first year. What was that? So 2016, 2017. I want to say I'm gonna focus on 2017 because I feel like in 2017 was where we tried a couple of things, right? Where we had the following from everyone found out and wanted to follow Zach, so we stayed a little bit busy there. But then there was a kind of a time period where he started experimenting. Like, okay, this is only going to take me so far, and I don't exactly have exactly word of mouth here in Bourbonnais, or in Champaign, and because he'd already thought about Champaign and Bloomington as well. That was kind of down the road idea that had been even spoken even before. I don't even know if you remember. See, I'm going backwards here. I'm thinking about like when we did seminars. Even he'd already thought about even hitting those markets even before he left the captive company.
I do
if you remember that. We'd already started that. So there was ideas there. They're brewing. We're throwing a lot of different things together. And one of the ideas that actually kind of stuck, and I think this was the seminar that we had in Bloomington at Harlan Community College.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, so the registration started at like 15, 20, 25. And you know how registrations are now where people are wanting to learn more about, the financial services, right?
Yeah.
And it started hitting 80, 95.
Really? I didn't know
I'm not, this is kind of why Zach was like, then I remember going to Zach and going, I'm a little scared because
and he's probably pumped up.
he was pumped up, but you also like, I'm thinking of all the work. I'm his only employee at the time, right? And so in my head, I'm like, I want to do it all too, Zach, but we might need to start thinking about hiring somebody. And I know this might be like probably not the right time, right? But it's the right time, and I'm so glad that he did, because he ended up finding somebody and ended up hiring her, and she helped us out. And had she not, I'm telling you, he had like 100% show rate too.
Wow.
I'm telling you, 100 registrants, and that was just one class.
Wow.
And there was 2 classes in 1 month, and that was in 2017, where we did classes throughout the year. And that was just the beginning of, his seminars and his dinner seminars, and it just grew from there.
Yeah, it's well, I think it's neat, in terms of just like as I think back, even just a lot of the people that we've worked with, at Rooted and what was Rooted. Everyone's just kind of played a part, whether they know it or not, of like getting us to this point, right? Some more than others. But like even for me, just because I'm so grateful for where I'm at, it's like I have a little bit of appreciation for most of those people and what they've done. Most to you, of course, to get us to this point. But it's funny you talk about that specific workshop at Heartland. I would say where I probably felt that anxiety was we had an educational workshop at, I think it was the Urbana Public Library. My first year, Zach was still doing a lot of the teachings. Like, this is pre-COVID, like ties. You just get a lot of people there. And so we're in this room, and it's filling up. And like next thing I know, there's like a line. And I look at the gal that was running our events at that point, and like, she was ready just to shut down. But there was a line because there was no seats, nowhere to sit. So I'm like hustling these chairs out of this like coat closet. And if I wish I could go back in time and take a picture of Zach's face, because he's standing in the doorway jaws dropped. Like he was like in like a little bit mortified, I think.
Yeah.
For lack of better terms, we crushed it, that event. Like it was just, everyone was engaged. Wow, we learned so much. And, we just met and were able to help so many people from that workshop. But that 10 to 15 minutes, I was like, we need more help.
Which I feed off that energy. I enjoy the pressure of the events, and even and it trickling back to the office. I just love the, being able to meet and talk to new people, just the new people that, the connections that are made. And it's funny that you mentioned our past, like the team that, has led us to here.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling, like, I think of everyone and how close we are, and people don't even realize that. Like, you were part of a wedding of one of our team members, which I love that guy. I went to jiu-jitsu with a girlfriend that, that used to work here.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about I don't know, we all still stay in contact, and it's just, I don't know, it's just so close. And the same thing goes for our clients. I mean, it's so great to see, like, the journey. I don't know, it's just so much with the history, the journeys that we see with our clients.
The journey, it almost gives me a little bit of chills when we start to talk about it more, because you're right. So like Philip specifically, like one of my best friends who I would have never met or been in contact with if it wasn't for Rooted bringing us together, several other guys. It's like, I'm so happy to see them progressing in their careers. Sad it's not with Rooted, but they obviously only have good things to say, and like it's just cool how we could all be brought together. And I just think back to those initial 2 or 3 years, we were just in that back office and like this whatever it takes mentality, while some might roll their eyes at it or think it's a little bit cheesy. Like it was just like, if you're there till 6, 7 o'clock at night, it wasn't because, I gotta be here so late. It was because like, all right, like let's get it done. Let's get after it. And I think what Zach did a really great job of is just help us visualize and see his vision, even though it might not have been clearly dictated to us. His excitement and just the way he portrayed it, and to see it just continuously come to fruition, super cool. Like, isn't it just I think it's just the coolest thing ever.
You know what I love about this is that, the energy was like this back then, and it's not the OGs, the energy's still like this, and this isn't changing. I mean, can you imagine what 10 years is going to bring?
Yeah, I mean, it's
I hope we're sitting here again, John.
Me too.
Well, in a bigger, maybe a, I mean, this is really nice, by the way.
Really, are you already getting
I mean, it's because, you know why? I appreciate where we're at, but at the same time, I also know what's possible.
Yeah.
Like, I never would have thought back then. Do you remember there was 2 little white chairs? I remember talking to you about this in the little small operations room where there was 4 or 5 of us all sharing, and we were all talking about this future podcast. And I remember you talking about like, I'll do a podcast. That'll be enjoyable. I'd love to talk to clients. And it looked way different than what this setup is. So I can't imagine what it's going to look like down the road. I just think there's big things coming.
I agree. I think there's huge things coming. Not only for the benefit of our clients primarily, but I think just, those that are on the bus with us, those that, I think our growth is just a testament to what we put first is the client. Everything else comes secondary. But by doing it that way through Zach's, vision and his leadership, it's what's led us here. And for that, I'm thankful of. But yeah, that's funny you say that. I really still don't know what I'm doing when it comes to the podcast, but we're just living and learning. I definitely enjoy it more because like this type of discussion is so much fun. But yeah, I love that we lived in the moment, but like looking back on those days, I've had someone in my life that's, been trying to urge me to journal more. Mm-hmm. And man, like I really wish that I had some more to look back on, because those times there were highs and lows. And I remember even like a couple of years into it, you were always like, that's going to be you someday. Like you're going to be in the advisor seat, and, here we are. So just cool. It's just fun to reminisce, look back on it. I bet we could do multiple episodes on this. Let's end with this. Are there any goals for 2025 that Hilda Miranda would like to share with her viewers?
Maybe I'll share this one, because I think that I've been like kind of like on a health, well-being kind of type of journey.
Yeah.
And that started, probably 3 years ago. And I've just been, being more focused and, trying to work on myself health-wise. And I think that I get that inspiration really from all the team members, because I feel like this type of culture breeds that.
Yeah.
We all want to be better. It's growth-minded. That's what it is. And so this year, I've got the working out, kind of locked in. And so I'm going to be working on my nutrition and just, that's really kind of my goal, I guess, just working on my well-being. So I know that doesn't sound like, I'm probably going to sign up for another half marathon.
Okay.
I did it last year. This year, someone's trying to push me to do the full marathon. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
I just know what it did to my body. I don't know if I'm ready for that. I am, 40 years old, so we'll see. But never mind. I shouldn't even be complaining. Our boss just did like a mountain, three marathons in 3 days. Okay, you know what? I'm doing the marathon, I guess.
You're doing it. She's locking it. I mean, I think what it is just locking in even further on just kind of your well-being through, diet and exercise,
Yes.
Which I think is awesome. And I think, you've proven that you're on that path. So that's great. I'm excited to see that continue to come to fruition for you. I'm willing to argue this will be the most popular episode that we've ever done. If you have any specific questions, I think it'd be fun
I would love to hear
if people gave us questions of whether it's about Zach, because I feel like we know Zach pretty well.
Went to school with him.
If you have questions about Zach, questions about the history of Rooted, I think that would be fun to answer those. Or if you'd like to see more episodes of us just kind of talking shop behind the times, put a comment below. We'd love that. Anything else you want to share, Hilda?
I'd be careful who we all ask, what they're going to ask. But yeah, I'm game. I'm excited.
We'll
I
answer
can't
them
wait.
all.
I look forward to it.
All right, that's it. We'll dig in soon.
Was Digging In Podcast. Presented by Rooted Wealth Advisors.
Oh, that was fun.
That was just easy.